Hello, Undini, and welcome back to another episode. So today, I'm leading with a really unpopular opinion, and yeah, let's talk about this one. Let's ration it out. Let's reason it out because it makes sense in my head. So I've come to the educated conclusion that I'm joking, but on a real, I've come to the conclusion that intention actually carries more weight than action. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. All this time we keep on saying, actions speak louder than words, which they do. The way that a person acts is also like an indication of how they feel. Da, 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 da. But let's stop and just think about it for a second, right? If we have been programmed in childhood to behave a kind of way, right? Hear me out. If we've been programmed in childhood to behave a kind of way, that means that when we're presented with a certain set of uh, or a sequence of events or actions or situations, naturally most of us act from that place of what we know, right? And what we know is to react in this kind of way. Well, if you're doing me like this, I'm going to react like that, which is why I always questioned, I always wondered why, if somebody does something that you don't like or whatever, they'd be like, yeah, but my intention wasn't to do ABC. And it's like, oh, it's not about your intention, it's what you did. Da, 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 da. But we have to also leave room for perception. So if we look at it from that perspective to say, somebody can have the best intentions, right? But not know how to act because they are acting or reacting from their programming, which means that by default, they will take a wrong step, or they will take a step in a direction that goes against what it is we want them to do, or will trigger us. Because we have to remember that this is like a two-way street. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You know what I mean? So also taking into mind rather, the more I learn about energy, the more I learn about how much weight it has in this big world, the more I learn about you can literally think yourself into a new dimension, a new lifestyle, a new world, a new version of yourself, right? Depending on what wording it is that you prefer. But you can literally think yourself into a better mindset, which means that the energy that you hold or the energy that you call into yourself actually has a massive impact on the way that your life moves forward, right? Are we in agreement? Cool. And if we're not in agreement, comment below and let me know if we're not on the same page at this point. Just let me know in the comments. Then we can figure it out together. But going back to what I was saying, right? So if we are then saying that for everything else in this life, everything else in the world, the way we show up, everything is energy, everything is related to energy, then why wouldn't that apply to intention? So would it be beyond the realms of imagination to say that somebody can have the best intention, which means the energy they're carrying is really good, but not know how to act? Which means that they may act in a way that will trigger us, or they may act in a way that is counterintuitive to what it is that they're trying to achieve. Listen, I've been there before. I've been in that situation where it's like, I don't want to be this version of myself anymore. I don't want to do A, B, C, and D. And then somebody will say something or do something that will trigger me right back into behaving the way that I know how to behave, the way that I've behaved all the time. Does it mean that my intention was not pure? Does it mean that everything now is invalidated because of the way that I acted? It's twofold. It's complex. It's not a straightforward case of, you know, you do like this, therefore it is. Looking at it as well, like, okay, let's look at it from a different perspective, right? So say all of us have come into contact with a narcissistic, or somebody who scores highly in the narcissistic spectrum, because few of us have actually had like a proper narcissist for a partner. So one thing that they're really good at is manipulation, right? Manipulation is very insidious. It's something that happens over a period of time. And the intention behind the manipulation is to break you down, is to have you in a place where they can get whatever they want, whenever they want. So the intention that they hold in that moment is not pure, it's not positive. And by repeatedly doing things in a way where that slips under your radar where you don't even realize, eventually they win. You know what I mean? Eventually they get to the point where the same with with bullying. Somebody who bullies you, or the best way to do it is to watch, just people watch. Somebody can say the nicest thing to you. No, you look lovely today. You look really pretty. But the intention is off. The intention is vile. You know what I mean? They did not intend to give you a compliment. Whereas if I said to you, oh wow, hey girl, oh, you look good. Okay, I like it. You look really good. Okay, have a good day. The intention is to uplift you. The intention is to compliment you, which carries through in the energy. So I'm really sort of coming to the point of accepting that intention is really, really important. Actions can be misconstrued. Actions are things that we learn. Now, that doesn't mean that we must discredit patterns. Okay? We do not discredit patterns. Patterns are things that are done repeatedly over a period of time, which is also an indication of intention. If somebody's really good at manipulation, you just watch the way that they behave. Their patterns never lie, you know. But on one-off sort of situation and instances, I feel like we need to pay more attention to intention, and also have a little bit more compassion and a little bit more room for error, for human error. You know, understanding that everybody's on that journey. We're all on a journey to self-discovery, to unlearning, to unraveling, to reinventing, to, you know, to strive to be the best version of who we are. Well, most of us, some of us. Some people are pretty content where they are, and that's okay. That's pretty much okay. Nobody has to force anybody to do anything what they don't want to do, you know. But one of the most important things is understanding that the power, you know, to either stay in that situation or leave is entirely yours. It's entirely yours. Because sometimes we can misconstrue people's intentions, especially when we want things to go a certain way. We will see things the way we want to see them, you know. And we will misconstrue stuff, you know. Again, it's that leaving room for human error, that margin for human error. But I strongly believe that intention, which is energy, has a lot of weight, holds a lot of weight. And intention comes through in body language all the time. They say you can be an excellent manipulator with your words, but body language never lies. And that's where the intention shows. That's where the intention shows every time. So pay attention as you're going through the week, you know, or the next few days. Pay attention. Pay attention to the way people interact, to things that they say. Are their eyes droopy, or are their eyes, you know, where they need to be in terms of, you can always tell, you know, is there a scowl on their face, you know. The intention will seep through in the body language. So you really just need to pay attention, you know, are their brows furrowed, you know, are they light and beamy? Has there been a situation where you've had pure intentions but you've acted out of, the word I'm looking for is learned behavior? You just acted out of, or automatic. You just automatically done something, but your intention was pure. Maybe you didn't give much thought into the action, but the intention was pure. Think about that moment. And how did it feel when you hurt somebody else because the action wasn't right? The intention was pure, but the action wasn't right. And how did it make you feel? How did it make them feel? And then going forward, what is it that we need to do to make sure that our intentions come through in our actions? And that's being conscious. That's being fully present. If you were fully present, in your interactions with people, you'll begin to understand how people move through the world, what their triggers are, what they're not, what your intentions are with the person, what they're not. Which means that you can make sure that your intentions and your actions are in alignment. And then there won't be, as many miscommunications. There'll still be miscommunication because, like we said earlier, people have their own perception and we all show up in the world based on our own level of understanding. You know what I mean? So you will still be misunderstood and stuff. It's inevitable. It's part of the human experience. But being sure that your intention and your actions match up and mesh up so that when you show up in the world, you show up authentically. That takes a little bit of effort. But trust me, it changes your whole world perspective. The way people interact with you changes as well. But pay attention to the intention. See what I did there? Hey. I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a really good week. And I hope that, some of the conversations that we have on this channel will spark some kind of curiosity to make you look at the world from a slightly different perspective. I hope that it helps on this journey that we call life. Until the next video, like, subscribe, share. Let's have a discussion in the comments. Don't forget, let's comment, let's interact. Put me to rights if you need to. Thank you so much.